Welcome back to the We Are Here podcast. I'm Paul.
And I'm Tony.
And today we're joined by Jen McMullen. Jen and her husband Adam are the owners of the More on Main Cafe here in Streator, a place that I love to frequent. It's a place where I write all my sermons, so a good place, a good third space here in Streator. And we're so glad to hear Jen's story today and the vision behind the More on Main Cafe.
Yeah, it's been really neat just hearing the beacon of activity that building has become over the past few years, and just how it's really made a mark, I think, on our community and helped the community be more of a community.
Absolutely.
So I'll let her talk about that. Enjoy this podcast, and we'll see you in the next one.
Welcome back. We're here with Jen McMullen. Jen is the owner of the More on Main Cafe in Streator. She and her husband Adam have created not only a great cafe with good food and good coffee, fresh made food. It's one of my favorite places to go and work during the week, so we see each other every week almost.
Yep.
But they've also created a space for other small businesses to thrive in Streator. On the More on Main website, Jen is quoted as saying she chose the name More on Main because she wanted the cafe to fill some voids that she saw in the community. More fresh food options, more locations where people could meet with friends. More positive and bright, and we feel like they've accomplished that, and so we're so happy to have Jen with us today.Jen, thank you for being here on the podcast with us.
I'm happy to be here.
So we're honored to have you. So we just want to jump right into a little bit of your story.
All right.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from? What brought you to Streator?
Okay, I am from a small town just south of Kankakee called Shabance, like right around 1,000 people. Okay. Really small. I went to college at ISU, and then I did my internship. Well, I got my degree in speech pathology, and so I did my internship at the hospital at St. Mary's in Streator when it was St. Mary's. Yeah. So I was here temporarily at the time, met my husband, who's from Streator, and we got married, and I stayed. So that's how I got here. And then I worked at the hospital for 15 years, and it just got like the time to move on. Mm-hmm. And so I did some contract work for a few years, but I was still just kind of like, there's something else. I want to do something else. I don't really know what it is. And this is an interesting part. My Bible study and girls and I did a study by Jenny Allen that was called, I think it's called You Were Made for More.
Okay.
Something along those lines. So you might see a theme with the more and my business, but it walks you through like the steps of figuring out what your gifts are and, your God-given talents and gifts and how you could possibly use that in the world, basically. And as we were walking through it, I was like, I think that maybe I'm supposed to open a restaurant or something because I liked hosting people and I liked feeding people and leadership was always something that I was interested in. So we just kind of pieced it all together. And I was like, okay, well, I said to my husband, I think maybe I want to open some kind of cafe or coffee shop or something, but I don't really know. I should have known better because my husband is the type, he's like, you want to do that? Okay, we're doing that. And he's like, okay, where are we going to look? What are the buildings? And then, it was like a rapidly moving snowball.
Yeah.
Yes. We found the building quickly. It all just happened really fast once we decided we were going to do that. So
that's really incredible, and to have that that support from your spouse and to be on the same page as one another and to be able to complement each other's skills.
Right.
That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that part of the story. I wasn't aware of that.
Most people don't know that. It's the long-winded version.
And very familiar with Jenny Allen. Mm-hmm. A lot of our ladies, a lot of our groups use her material. Uh-huh. So very inspirational. So that's incredible. So what do you've been a part of Streator for a while, through St. Mary's. So our history, you obviously being kind of married into it and as well, have family from here as well. Mm-hmm. What do you love about our city, and what keeps you and your family invested here in Streator?
There's just so many good people here. And, kind, generous, friendly. I do think sometimes Streator gets a bad rap, and I'm just like, I don't get it. I guess that's from people who have never been here before, because people are overwhelmingly generous and kind. Anytime somebody needs something, or there's any sort of great need, it's met. I mean, people come together, and I mean, it's just, I mean, the people here. It's the people. That's why we stay. I mean, the people are great.
And there's no shortage of volunteerism. We've talked on the podcast before so many times. I mean, you just have to put what you need out there, and like you said, it's met.
Right.
I mean, right away, almost instantly.
Right.
So let's talk a little bit about more about More on Main.
Sure.
Where did that? You talked about the Bible study portion, and kind of we want to do more. Feeling that call to start a business, start a cafe. But it is a really unique place, and
right.
it is a kind of a business with businesses inside of it.
Sure.
So I want to talk a little bit more about that. Where did that vision for a cafe with neighbors who were selling clothes and
Sure.
a salon upstairs and such,
right.
where did that come from?
Well, that was kind of an accident. We kind of fell into it because when we started looking and we saw, what was the old J.C. Penney's building, it's 12,000 square feet, which you obviously don't need for a cafe.
Yeah.
But we loved the location. And at the time, Bromley and Brown had opened, and, I think they were open for like a year, I think they were the first ones to really take a leap and get stuff started downtown. I mean, not to take anything away from those businesses like Don's Furniture and Ace Hardware and the others who were never
anchors.
stopped.
Yeah,
They were always down there. But boutique new, retail type places. It was Bromley and Brown and Balanced Spirit. Sean Cates has Balanced Spirit, and they were already there. And I was like, things seem to be taking a turn here downtown, like people are, and Flowers Plus, that's another one that's been there for a long time and was another anchor. But I thought, this is a great location. Something's happening here in our downtown, and how do we make this work?
Yeah.
Well, my husband happens to be a carpenter and has great ideas, so he was able to come up with the idea of like, what if it's like shops in here and we split this space up? So he came up with the concept and how it looks like different buildings in there and like the facades and stuff. And some friends I knew, the owners of Three Wishes, had been thinking like it was kind of a out of reach dream for them to open something, but they didn't know when or how. So the timing just kind of came together, and they committed before we bought it.
Oh, wow.
So we knew we had one other shop when we opened. So then when we, frantically, so from September when we purchased the building, 2017, to opening the last day of March, so that was like 6 months. And we gutted and renovated. And I say we because I was there the whole time. But Adam did the skilled work and I did the grunt work. And with many, many other people who came in and helped. They'd come in and say, I have an hour. Can I pry up nails out of this floor?
Oh, wow.
I have an hour. Can I, people were, a huge list of people.
There are pictures of the work all over, and I love that, you can see the process, you can see, and I imagine, and you could probably speak to this, imagine walking in that first day and, maybe I know contractors, Adam probably had a vision and he could see it, in its finished form in his mind, but I imagine just walking in, what was that like? Just to walk in and be like, we have to do this?
It was daunting. When we bought it, it was split down the middle on the first floor. You couldn't even see the second floor, and there was drop ceilings in there. So it was like two small rooms that you'd walk into. You couldn't see the whole, the size of the building like it is. But like I said, once we were in it, we were in it. Yeah. So even if I was like,
we're doing this.
What are we doing? It was too late. We were doing it. We were in it. So we just kept going. And we're just average people doing average things. So it was, okay, we are spending money until the first day we open. So we worked and worked and worked. And my in-laws were great helping with the kids. And, we just frantically got it done. Yeah. And before we opened, I said to like my staff, who there was like 4 of us maybe, because I thought I thought it was going to be me and like one or two other moms serving lunch to 20 people. Seriously. I thought it was just going to be this little, cute little mom and pop, 4 or 5 tables. That is not what happened. Before we opened, the traffic we had on Facebook and the comments, like, I can't wait till you open. I said, you guys, if everybody shows up who said they're going to show up, we're going to be in trouble because I don't know how we're going to do this. And they did. They showed up.
Yeah.
And the community has continued to show up. So, and I mean, 2 short years after we opened, COVID shut us down.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, we have had customers who, they every single day show up. Mm-hmm. And even if they don't have time to eat, they're getting their coffee every day because they know it's important to us. Like our regulars kept us open.
Yeah.
So there's no way we could have done it without their commitment to keeping us open.
That's incredible.
So it was really, yeah.
We were talking a little bit before we started recording, and there were several leaps of faith involved in opening this business. And to turn that around in 6 months, that's incredible. That's
it was
really
something.
Incredible.
It was
That's
something.
A lot of hard work, a lot of sweat equity that went that went into that.
Mm-hmm.
And just like you said, average people doing average things. I think it's just one day at a time, moving forward, not giving up, and even when it's challenging. Let's talk about after you've opened the business. So you've got many businesses under one roof.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit of a unique model.
Sure.
What are the benefits of that? What are some of the challenges of partnering with other small business owners all under one roof? What are some of the things that go into keeping that, maintaining that, but also helping it grow as a business model?
Sure. Well, I would say the most challenging part is being a landlord. Mm-hmm. It's probably the least favorite part of my job, just because it was unintentional. That just kind of came along with the business being a business owner. Just the whole hey, you haven't paid your rent, or and that's a rare occurrence. Just like things that just aren't my thing.
Not fun to deal with.
Right,
yeah.
right. But I would say that's the only downside, is having to do that part of it. But the benefits are, endless pretty much. The camaraderie is great. How'd you do last week? Did you have a good week? Did you have a bad? Okay, well, maybe we can run some sort of special together. The camaraderie is great. Just the feeding off of each other's customers, so-and-so came in because they were going to rent a tux for a dance at Legends, and they stopped in Three Wishes because they saw a candle they wanted. Those benefits are, at the way we're set up now, I think, I don't know why you would ever do it any other way, as far if you were a shop owner, because the constant traffic.
Yeah.
Because people will go stop and get a coffee every day. They don't generally go shop every day.
Sure.
But if they walk by that store every day, it's different.
They like in the storefront. Yeah, exactly.
So I think the benefits are great. Most places don't have the space for it, but the places that do, I think it's a great setup for everybody.
Yeah. I see a lot of people from out of town stopping by. Maybe they were passing through on Main Street, and maybe they saw it and saw a coffee shop or something like that, or whatever, for whatever reason. But I fairly frequently see people coming in from out of town, and they're like, oh, there's so much more here. Let's check the rest of it out. So just for anybody that's not familiar with the shops that are there, go ahead and tell us everybody that's there. Of course, you got the cafe there.
Sure.
Who else is there with you?
We have Three Wishes, which is like a home goods gift, super cute, candles and home decor. And they also, a couple of years ago, opened Little Wishes right next door, which is like baby gifts and, clothes, and really cute. Really nice to be able to get baby gifts in town when you need them. And then there's Charlie Lou's Boutique, which is a women's clothing boutique behind Three Wishes. And then you go upstairs, and it's Legends, which is a men's clothing boutique. And on the 3rd floor, we have a salon with a couple of stylists in there. We have Cece's consignment, like formal dresses. They just had their big homecoming kickoff this weekend, and lots of girls leaving with dresses. It was it's fun to watch that. And then Lash Photography has their office on the 3rd floor too.
Yep.
Yeah, so, and that's where of course, the sitting area
Yes,
is, and
it's my favorite
people
area.
like to work up there. Yeah, bring your computer and sit up there.
I do. That's where I write my sermons at. So
Yeah.
So I need to stop telling people about it though. I think because I'm gonna
You're gonna have visitors. Like
a little competition for
right,
my space.
Right.
No,
Yeah.
that's all right. Everybody's welcome. There's
Right.
plenty of beautiful sitting area up there.
Yeah.
Plenty of like light and plants and
Yeah.
comfortable couches. A nice table up there if you want to do like little small team meetings even.
Right.
It'd be a
Yes.
great place
It's a
to
good
do
place
that.
to meet people. Yes.
And a great place to sit and work on a sermon if anybody's doing
Right.
that. So, it's such an inviting space too, open design, with the shops on the sides and kind of a historic building too that
Sure.
you guys have opened up and you can see some of the
Right.
the I don't know if it's actually tin, but like the tin tile
Yes.
ceiling or whatever you want to call
All
that.
original. Yeah.
Yeah. And so it has some history in the city
Right.
as well. Just a beautiful space.
I don't know if you're familiar with the concept of a third space. I
Yeah.
mean, that wasn't
Yeah.
really a thing I knew about until after we opened. But so if you're not familiar with it, the concept of like a third place or a third space is somewhere you go that's not home or work, but
Yeah.
that it's a familiar place to you. And, a lot of people's third space is a bar. But so where do people go who,
Right.
aren't looking to drink in their free time?
Right.
Where can I go that I can run into people that I want to just say hello to, where I'm not isolated at home? I'm not working. I'm not necessarily spending a bunch of money.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a place you can be and run into people. And what we found is that even though that wasn't our intention in the beginning, it was more like, let's just have a cafe. We've turned into a third place
You
for
definitely
people.
have, yeah.
And I love that. We've seen some really cool things, like two sisters who didn't know each other. I think one of them was adopted when they were young, and they found each other and they met at the cafe. Cool things like that.
Yeah.
Like people come in on their wedding day in their wedding dresses, and just we've just seen some cool things and been able to be a place where some people do interviews there.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I sit here? I have like 4 interviews to do. I'm like, oh, yeah, knock yourself out. I don't
Fantastic,
care.
yeah.
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 Use the space. We like it better when people are here,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it is so beneficial to a community to have those third spaces, to
Right.
have, I mean, that is actually connected to wellness. It's connected to
Really?
mental health.
Uh-huh.
There is so much benefit to having places where people can go and just, and meet and have community together.
Sure.
So you've definitely created that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a beautiful place to meet. I guess we should also say, just thinking about wellness, I'm kind of going off script a little bit here, but the food is really good too.
Thank
it's
you.
It's healthy.
Yes.
You guys make everything there and
Right.
and do fresh ingredients and
Right.
and I think it would be remiss not to mention that it. I don't know if that was kind of the original design of what the menu was for it to be.
Yeah.
More healthy food. It seems like it was.
Right.
There was some intention
I mean,
behind that.
when we were opening, a couple of the things I saw that we were missing in our community that people, I thought, wanted and were going out of town for, was like fresh food or not bar food. I mean, I like a cheeseburger and fries just like everybody else, but not every day.
Yeah.
And a local coffee shop,
Yeah.
which we only had Starbucks at the time, which Starbucks is great, but it's in Kroger. Nobody's going to sit down there. And, those were the two voids I saw. I couldn't get food anywhere that I like to eat it. The kind of food that I ate, which is what we serve now pretty much. So we kind of just morphed into let's do both. These are the two missing things. And that's what we do. I mean, we make everything from scratch. When you have chicken on your salad, somebody cut that chicken up, somebody baked that chicken, then diced it. We do all the steps. And just because I think that results in a healthier end product. We can get frozen cooked chicken breast, but it's not the quality that I want to serve. We can get bacon that's pre-cooked. It's not the quality I want to serve. So we cook 30 pounds of bacon a week to chop up for salads. I just find that it's a better product, and it keeps people healthier. I always say, if you're going to eat a cookie, eat a cookie that you made yourself, and it's got flour and sugar and butter and vanilla and not all those ingredients that you don't know what they are.
And like you said,
so that's what we try to provide.
You can taste the difference. We really can. You can taste the quality of the ingredients. It really does make a difference.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So I saw Tony perk up a little bit at 30 pounds of bacon too.
I do like 30. I do appreciate 30 pounds of bacon.
Yeah, that's a lot of bacon.
I used to until I was the one cooking it.
Yeah,
I can understand
I'm
that
just
too.
kidding.
Yeah. So thank you for diving. I know it was a little bit off script
No,
there,
it's fine.
but I just think like I said, we remiss not to dive a little bit deeper into that. But let's kind of back out a little bit more to that downtown Streator area. What were some of the changes you've seen? How have you seen it adapt and grow in recent years? Or maybe what did you see even, because you mentioned, I think even before you bought the building, you saw some of those things.
Was
So
starting.
what have you seen as far as changes there, and how has it improved? And we'll start with that.
Okay.
What changes have you seen there?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the business owners have made a huge difference in what's going on downtown. Everybody, taking advantage of the facade grant and refreshing all the facades has made a huge difference. I think putting, everything being occupied, or most of things being occupied, I think has made a huge difference. Obviously, the more businesses we have downtown, the more traffic we're getting. Like, we're having people come from Dwight to shop because they heard Streator's got all these boutiques downtown. That's fantastic, and it takes all of us being open to do those things. It is a challenge. I mean, there's times where it's very difficult to be a small business owner, and it's no different in Streator. When people are paying more for their groceries, they're not going to buy a new shirt, and they're not going to, buy a new candle. And that's the first thing to go. But I do think that everybody has to be aware, even though you pay more for stuff, when you buy it locally in these small shops, you're not doing that so that these people can get rich. You're doing it so they can keep their business open, because it makes all the difference. So I just want everybody, that's my little shop local. If you want the stores to stay, you absolutely have to shop at them. And I owned Inspired Whisk for the last year that it was open, because the original owner moved on to a different job, and I said, I love Inspired Whisk. I'm going to try to keep it open, because I'm obviously a person who likes to cook, and I loved all the stuff, and I couldn't do it either. It's difficult to keep a small business open. So I just want everybody keep those businesses open.
Yeah.
So our downtown is dependent on people shopping at them more than it's dependent on the owners, or maybe equal parts, because they can't stay without customers.
Yeah, and I think that overall, would you say that overall benefits the community? Because those are local purchases, local taxes, local.
Oh, absolutely.
All of that kind of
It trickles
seeps in
down.
or trickles down,
Yeah.
however you want to say that, into the local economy
Absolutely.
at large, and benefits. You could, how many degrees you could take that out to our local schools, and just.
Right.
All sorts of different benefits that come from shopping local. Yeah, absolutely.
Sure. And my business, for example, the more people are purchasing food and drinks from us, the more people I employ. Yeah. And we have 20 employees right now, and that's 20 people who didn't have a job, or maybe a different job, but those were new jobs, in town that are created because people want our products. Yeah. And that goes, same thing happens with all the stores.
Yeah, absolutely. So what about the future, kind of, if you were to dream big and think about what would you want to see happen in the future in the downtown area? Obviously more businesses,
Sure.
more shops that are filled and not empty, but anything else beyond that, what would you like to see happen, as far as the local economy or anything like
Sure.
that?
As far as specific businesses, I can't really put my finger on it, although I do hear people come up with ideas, and I'm like, oh, yes, do that. That would be so good if we had that. There's a few things I feel like if the city could come up with a way to have more parking downtown. Okay. That would be a great benefit. I have had people say, I was going to come in, but the walk was too far for me.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't find a spot within 3 blocks, which I understand not everybody's up for that kind of walk, but especially during our high traffic, like September, October, through the end of the year, sometimes you can't find it. You're parking at the park to walk in.
Yeah.
Which is some commitment, which I appreciate that all those people are doing. But parking would be really good if we had that downtown. The block that I'm on is I think they call it the concept block, where they put in for like the railroad carts with the plants and the nice light poles and all that. That was the first block. I think they've added some to the next block, but it'd be nice when they get all of that done. And our downtown can really be nice and cute. And there's a few, on the block before us, not to get into some negative territory, but there's some buildings that need to be addressed. The city needs to take care of them. Yeah. They're kind of an eyesore, and those businesses that are across the street have asked repeatedly to have something done about those vacant buildings that are
and so maybe
falling apart.
Maybe even just if somebody can find, maybe somebody's listening to this thing, find incentive, find some reason to,
right.
A dream, maybe you have a dream business or something like that. Work with the city. I know
Sure.
they work with local business owners and,
right. Let's put some things in there.
Almost just need somebody to come up with a vision for it and then, be willing to spearhead it, put the sweat equity into it.
Right.
And it would be better for everybody.
Right.
So,
that'd be great.
I think those are great ideas. I'm even seeing there's more events happening downtown.
The music at the clock. That's so good. Every time I see that going on down there, I'm usually driving home exhausted from my day at work, and I think I can't do it. But so many people down there. I love it. Yeah. My husband went last week. He's like, let's go see that band. And I'm like, I can't do it. I'm so tired. So he went. He said it was great. Tons of people.
We were heading out to Eagle Lane on Friday, and so that kind of dates us a little bit, but we were driving by, and I was like, "What's going on?" Oh yeah, music, music at the clock.
Yeah, great turnout down there.
There were so many people there.
Yeah.
So as far as challenges, talking about the future, I don't want to go too far back, but you talked a little bit about the challenges during COVID, and it was so good to have those supporters coming in during that.
Right.
And so maybe that's something you can look back on a little bit, but mostly looking forward into the future. What challenges do you see as a small business owner in a place like Streator? You talked a little bit about the economics of it. Are there any other challenges that come with the future of growing a business in a small town? And then what advice would you give to somebody that wants to get started with a small business?
I would hesitate to give advice, first of all, because I feel like I said, I'm just a person. I'm a speech therapist who decided to open a restaurant. So I can't say that I'm like an expert in the field or anything, but I think one of the major things that I think is important, and this probably, I don't know how much this applies to like a retail small business as much as a restaurant. But I bought one thing new, and that was my espresso machine.
Yeah.
When we opened, we had, one of the refrigerators we had, you had to practically tape it shut to keep it shut. But I was like, I cannot spend more than this much money and ever get my money back. You know what I mean? And so many times I walk in, it's like a problem now, because I'll walk into a restaurant and be like, they're never going to get their money back.
Yeah.
And my family's like, oh, come on. And I'm like, well, I'm just saying, do you know how much that, you fill in the blank is? I'm like, that's brand new. Do you know how many copies they have to sell to get their money back on that? Anyway.
It's kind of one of those things, it's like a curse of,
yes.
I know how much these things cost.
Right.
I can never unsee this
right,
now.
Yes, that is how it goes. But I do think, I wouldn't say don't, live your dreams or, go big or go home, I guess. But there's a lot of things you can do to not, break the bank when you're getting started. Let's see if we can get this business rolling.
Right.
The other thing is I really wasn't aware that I had to have a PhD in accounting and business when I opened the restaurant. Yeah. And that is I think that probably with restaurants more than any other small business people fail because you like to cook food, not necessarily, crunch numbers.
Yeah.
But there is a lot of crunching to
Yeah.
be done. And I luckily have a great office manager and accountant helping. But there's so much to know and so much to continually learn.
Right.
That it's not just about smiling and, customers and do you want to buy this sweater or this sandwich or whatever. There's a lot to it.
Right.
And I mean, the more I learn that I have a lot to learn. So
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
It's a really good way to put it.
so that's been an adventure too. So I would say, I don't know. It would be hypocritical of me to say, make sure you have all your ducks in a row, because my ducks are never in a row. My ducks have not been in a single row my whole life. But I just kind of jumped in. Like, people are like, well, how much food do you have to have ready? I'm like, I don't know. We're going to wing it. I'm going to see. I don't know. That's how I did everything. But that's my personality. That doesn't suit everyone.
Sometimes it's good just to know where your ducks are.
Yeah. Thank you. That is a great.
I know where my
and that
ducks
they
are.
are
ducks.
Yeah, like I've got my ducks.
Yeah. I'm
We're good.
going to start using that. I know where the ducks are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know how I got off on this tangent.
Oh,
but,
no, it's good.
it's good to know there's a lot more to your business than just making paninis.
I think that's great advice. And you said, as far as who I would want to receive advice from, it would be somebody that's in it every day. And that's part of what I love about small business owners and seeing you all do what you do at the cafe. You're talking about, you're not sitting above this thing and
Right.
making commands from
Right.
down from on high. You're in it. You're in the trenches.
I
of
am
it
in
every
it.
single day, and you have a unique perspective because you can see the daily needs, the immediate needs that your employees see, but you also see the big picture of it too. And so,
Right.
I think I'll be bold and say if anyone's looking for advice, I would say go to someone like Jen, who's actually
Well, thanks.
getting her hands dirty in
Yeah.
the business,
Yeah.
and doing something with it herself. So
Sure.
Thank you so much for sharing your story. Anything else that you want to share? Of course, we want to talk about anything upcoming in the months to come at the cafe or in maybe some of the businesses there. That you want to share with our listeners, but anything else
Sure.
that we should hear that we need to know about?
One thing that I just wanted to squeeze in here, if I could, is you hear a lot now about this generation doesn't want to work, or people now just don't want to work, and that has not been my experience. Now, I will say I have people of all ages who come in and don't actually want to work. They want the money, but they don't want to do the work. But that's not. My experience is not that it is one generation or one. I've had girls come in that are 16 when they start and have been the best workers I've had. There's good employees out there. There's people who want to work hard, who like to, produce something at the end of the day. Yeah. And I just kind of wanted to poo-poo that idea of this generation doesn't want to work, because it's not true. I mean, there's people in every generation don't want to work, but that's not who the majority of the people I see are.
Yeah. So I mean, you've got high school kids all the way up to
right.
older adults.
I am the oldest person who works there. So I know when sometimes the teenagers come in and they're like, "I'm so tired," and me and my manager, who are two of the oldest people, look at each other like, "Well, we got here at 6:30.
You don't know what tired
and
is.
We're dripping sweat." So maybe you should reverse that statement. No, but we have all ages, and I mean, I probably am a more strict boss than most people. I just there's standards and everybody has to follow them, and it's not personal. And I think that's a good experience for people to have too, because I mean, if your first job doesn't have standards, then you get to your next one and I mean, I don't get to do whatever I want.
Yeah.
It's
It
just
wasn't like that back
it's just
there, yeah.
life. Yeah.
And I will say, as a customer, it shows. I mean, I've always gotten great service. I've always, it's always polite. It's always a smile. Those things show. And so, so that absolutely
I'm glad to hear
shows
that.
in the business.
That's what we strive for. I mean, obviously nobody's perfect, and things are going to happen. But I mean, for the most part, that's the expectation.
Yeah, because that's a part of the experience too.
Sure.
Just being able to have a good interaction with somebody.
Right,
So,
right.
So anything upcoming? Anything as far as
Stuff we've got going on at the Streator location. We have Downtown Trick or Treat is coming, and you'll just have to watch for dates. You'll see that all over. I can't tell you the exact date. It's always on a Saturday, and that's always a lot of fun. To everybody to come in their costumes and see all those little kids downtown. And I think cruise night will be over when this comes out, so we won't talk about that. That's a huge night of our year.
Yeah.
That's always really fun. And then heading into the Christmas season, which is like our busiest, funnest. I love the Christmas season. Everybody's so happy, and everybody's coming in a lot, and it was just a great time of year for us. Busy but fun.
Special drinks,
right.
based on the holidays.
Yes,
and
and
things like that.
pumpkin spice season is coming, so hold on, it's coming.
Yeah.
People have been asking for like a month. When's pumpkin spice coming out? I'm like,
it's
July.
4th. Yeah.
Right.
Calm down. So it is coming. That's something. And then we are, working frantically to open our Ottawa location, which we're looking at like October for that.
Okay.
So there's a lot to be done between now and then, and we're working on it.
Yeah.
So hopefully the very beginning of October is what we're shooting for there.
Very good.
Yeah.
And do you want to tell our listeners, just in case they've never been to either location, where's the Streator location? Where's the Ottawa location?
Sure. The Streator location's at 317 East Main Street, and it says Main Street Market on the black awning outside, and I have been told it's not well marked, and I haven't figured out how to mark it better, but that's where we are. And then the Ottawa location will be at 818 LaSalle Street in Ottawa, and that's just north of Lone Buffalo. They're on that main street there.
Fantastic.
So we're excited about that, and jumping into a new challenge.
And then online, you can
Yes.
find a place to order online.
Right. You can go to moreonmaincafe.com, and that'll get you to our online ordering. Or if you use the Toast app, you can get to us through there. You can always call us. The online ordering is so easy. If you've never done it, you can just put your order in online, and it's paid for, and it's sitting there waiting for you when you come
really
in.
easy, yeah.
You skip the line. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And we'll have links to all those things down below in the description of the episode as well, so people can find those. So
Awesome.
Jen, thank you so much for being here with us.
Yeah,
It's been
thank
an
you. It was
honor.
good.
Yeah, thanks for sharing about More on Main and your business and dreams and the downtown area. It's been really great. So and thank you for joining us. Thanks for listening. This is the We're Here podcast. We'll see you next time.